I'm breathing underwater, I'm weightless through space. I'm soaring like an eagle all over this place. Creatures most will never see are waiting there to look at me, and all I gotta do is breathe underwater. Check out the title. We're finally admitting that we're in Monster of the Week mode. We take you to the Arctic and Norwegian listening station XC5. They appear to be part of early radio telescope searches for life beyond Earth. These eventually morphed into the so-called SETI project, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, which isn't really a coordinated project at all. It's a bunch of people around the world all doing the same thing and sharing information with nobody really in charge. The first such radio telescope was set up in 1960, and 64 years later, the results are a lot of static.
Yes, come in, go ahead. This is Arctic listening station XC5. Come in.
Laser beam.
You must have heard that. Laser beam. It's asking us to energize the laser beam.
Professor.
That's what it must have meant all these hours. I'm going to do it.
No!
Sven isn't sure what he heard. Dr. Bergstrom is.
Sven, this is the big breakthrough. An entity speaking from outer space.
If that's true, what does it want? Why should we energize the beam?
So it can ride down on it, come to Earth on it. We can't refuse.
We don't know what it is or what it intends to do here.
It has to be friendly. Why else would it contact us?
It's talking to me, so it must be friendly. It's just that kind of impartial logic that enabled us to put a man on the moon. The word conquest comes to mind. It's always fun to see Alfred Ryder. We've seen him I don't know how many times, and I don't mind if we see him at least that many more. One of the best character actors I ever saw.
Don't do it. Break contact.
You can't stop me now.
Don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me.
He's coming in.
Professor, look, the door.
The breakthrough. It's coming.
Instead of a breakthrough, why don't you just open the door for it?
The heat. This is Arctic listening station XC5. We are being destroyed, attacked by heat. Send help. We need help. The heat.
It's here!
XC5. Heat. Burning heat. Help. Help.
By the way, it's made of fire. The Seaview is in the area and heard the distress call, but now they can't raise the station. They find a gap in the Arctic ice where they can surface near the place. Three men went to sickbay with injuries from slamming into the ceiling, while the rest of the men rattled their heads a little, picked themselves up off the floor, and muttered, "I hate it when he does that." Captain Crane and Chief Sharkey put on cold gear and trudged over to the station to see what happened. Bergstrom was more fortunate. He's alive, but he needs the doctor quick. Crane calls for the snowcat to come get all of them.
I've seen some blocks of ice before, but what's in there? If I didn't know better, I'd say it was fire.
Spoiler, it is. In proper Seaview fashion, they'll do the dumb thing and bring it aboard. Bergstrom reports everything that happened to Captain Crane and Admiral Nelson. He says, "I don't know why I survived unless it wanted me to and needs my help with something."
What do you believe it is, Dr. Bergstrom?
I don't know, but I do know that it is an entity, an intelligence from Somewhere up there. It is in touch with us through me. We must make the best of it.
It sounds as though you're convinced it's a friendly intelligence.
I am.
And yet it killed your assistant and destroyed your laboratory.
He maintains that those things were accidental. It didn't intend to do harm. He wants to go back to the station and reestablish contact. They tell him about the weird ice block and inform him that it's now here on the Seaview.
Then it must be it. Where is this ice? I must see it.
Fire detail, report to section D7 on the double. Repeat, fire detail to section D7.
I think we found it. Internal sensors recorded a rapid spike in temperature where they stored the ice block. Gentlemen, I believe it's awake.
The entity is in there. It's come to life. We must talk with it, Admiral.
It stays behind steel doors. Do we know what it is and how we can control it?
But it came to me. Surely I am the one to say what to do next.
Chief, move in there with CO2. Aye, aye, sir.
The heat is getting worse.
Would someone please teach this thing how to open a door?
You, whatever you are, we are your friends. I'm Bergstrom.
Chief, put it out in the double. Aye, aye, sir.
They don't think for a second that they've killed it, but for now it's leaving them alone.
It's gone. You've destroyed it.
I stand corrected.
Well, I sincerely hope so.
But it's murder. You have deliberately killed a creature from another world.
Ever hear of self-defense, Doctor? It struck first, killed one of us, and is going around breaking doors. Its very presence is dangerous to humans. And for all your insistence that it came to you, it hasn't said a word to you or even acknowledged your existence.
Control room. What's the temperature reading in section D7 now?
The heat's dropping now down to 108. But we're getting a rise in temperature amidships. It's up to 120 and still going up.
Well, apparently, nobody's been murdered, Bergstrom. The heat's still with us.
Told you. We'll see that moving gas jet throughout the episode, and I really wish I could see below the camera frame and see how they made it move so smoothly and precisely. If anybody knows of some behind-the-scenes footage of this episode, please share. Sparks reports that he's hearing faint sounds and what may sound like Bergstrom's name.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm afraid I've lost it.
You can't lose it. Get it back.
Do you want to do this? Explain to him how. Electronic communications are what they are, and they aren't anything more. If you can build a better system, don't just stand there. And look at that. It knew how to work a hatch the whole time. It was just showing off. Now it's in the engine control room demanding to see Bergstrom. In another room near there, Kowalski and Patterson are checking some circuits. It's impossibly hot and getting worse.
What's your reading? I said, what's your reading?
Trouble. The needle's in the danger zone.
Hey, it's moving up higher.
Yeah. And it's getting hotter in here, too. Let's get out of here.
He suggested that a few moments ago, and Kowalski said no. I think he's convinced now.
Hey, wait a minute. We better pull all the primary circuits first.
Right.
Now he's really convinced. They're alive, but Patterson is hurt and the fire won't let them leave the room. Kowalski goes to call for help, which is what he should have done in the first place. Or not. He can't find anything sufficient to protect his hand, but there's a big pipe next to him with a piece of heavy insulation around it. With that, he fashions a sort of bat shield that protects them from the heat until he and Patterson manage to exit the room. It's not quite as silly as when Crichton covered himself in goo in Farscape, but it's close. The question there is why? What did it want that required them to stay there? For that matter, what does it want in general? What's the goal here?
The engine room, sir. It's the engine room. Burns and heat crusted.
Secretary, this is the captain. There are 2 men hurt at the intersections of corridors 17 and 18. Get some stretches down here fast.
Let's get the engine room.
It leaves footprints? I want to see those feet. There's nothing to do but follow them.
Are you convinced now, Captain?
All right. I know we're faced with something that could destroy the Seaview and all of us. It's already cut down Kowalski and Malloy, so what are we going to do about it?
Kowalski and who? Either Malloy is Patterson's first name or everybody missed a big goof in the script.
I asked for Professor Bergstrom of Station XZ5
I'm here.
with others.
You didn't specify. Next time, say what you really want. Bergstrom says, we're all your friends.
Prove it. Do as I ask.
What do you ask?
It is simple. But who speaks?
I'm Admiral Nelson, and this is the captain of the Seaview, Commander Crane.
We have heard your words across space.
Who's we?
I am not here to waste words on explanation, but since you are here, we will take advantage of your presence. You have vast power aboard this ship. Use it.
I think this thing works at being vague. They already use it, that's why the boat goes chug, chug, chug.
You will employ the nuclear reactor to blast the thermal heat ray under the ice pack, directly beneath the hut, which was Arctic Listening Station XZ5. The ray will carry a heat blast of 3,000 degrees centigrade.
3,000 degrees would take at least 2 hours to build up that amount of heat.
In that case, I give you 2 hours. No more than you will direct the blast beneath the hut. That is an order.
Oh, he shouldn't have said that. Nelson explains that they don't take orders.
And why do you ask us to send that blast?
We do not give reasons.
Then we do not give thermal blasts. It says the temperature will keep rising until you fire the blast. If it isn't done in 2 hours, everybody aboard will die. Still think this thing is friendly, Bergstrom?
You, whatever you are. I am Bergstrom. You have not talked to me.
I have talked with the Admiral. It is sufficient. 2 hours.
I repeat, we don't take orders without reason.
Is that reason enough, Admiral?
No, it isn't. They also don't give in to bullying. Although, as bullies go, this guy's good. The average temperature is 132 degrees. Bergstrom is still pretty clueless.
Admiral, why fight when you could collaborate?
Ooh, that line would have hit a nerve with a lot of people who came out of World War II, because too many people said the same thing about Mr. Hilter.
I still say that whatever is on board this ship is not belligerent.
It's giving you orders under penalty of death. What would you call it?
It came to me of its own free will.
Apparently with a desire to burn us all to a crisp.
No, I do not believe it.
Well, I do.
Give it a chance. We have the opportunity to learn things that man has never known before. True meaning of the stars, contact with intelligence from deepest space. Who knows what else we may learn?
Well, I'd like to learn why it wants a nuclear blast under the ice.
Blast the ice, you'll have your answer.
Yeah, well, what answer? There must be a reason why it needs heat.
and why it's putting pressure on us instead of destroying us.
Oh, you are wrong. I know that this thing is invincible.
Anything can be vinced. You just have to find the right vincer. And Admiral Nelson just found it.
It was trapped in the ice, perhaps dying of cold. If we hadn't brought it aboard, maybe that's the answer, cold. If we flood the engine room without it...
I will not let you kill it.
You heard him when he told that thing he doesn't take orders.
Surely that doesn't apply to me.
You are 100% wrong. I mean, nothing you've said has been right.
I flood the engine room now. Right away. 149 degrees.
They're gonna wish they kept track of him.
Admiral, this is Crane. The flooding controls and circuitry are welded tight by the heat. I'll go into the engine room with CO2 equipment and activate from there.
Right, Lee. Go to it.
Get 2 more of these ready. I'll get the special rig.
Told you, he knocks the captain out with it and runs to tell the creature what they're up to.
They're trying to kill you.
How would they kill me?
They want to flood this room with the icy sea waters.
Icy sea waters?
But you came to me. To me is why I stopped them.
What do you expect from me?
Oh, you can teach me so much. The secrets of the universe. I want to learn.
Therein lies the problem. He assumes it wants to teach.
Tell me one thing, so they will help, not hinder. Why do you ask for the blast under the ice?
We do not answer questions.
Then you're gonna make lousy teachers.
Oh, but you want them to do what you say.
They will do what I say. So will you.
Bergstrom still isn't hearing what this thing is saying. This is conquest and enslavement talk. He thinks it's school time.
Tell them to send that blast under the ice. They have hardly an hour left.
I can't force them.
You will find a way. If you fail, everybody on this ship dies.
Listen, there are over 100 men aboard.
We are no longer interested in discussion. Do as you are bid. Go.
Does he get it yet?
There is no hurry, Admiral. You're not going anywhere.
We put that gun down.
Order the blast. Heat the reactor and order the blast.
I'll take that as a no.
You are wrong. You can't fight something bigger than you are.
Want to know a secret, Bergstrom? They've done it before, many times. If he'd watched the show, he would have known that. I probably don't need to mention that they aren't able to flood the engine room. Time for Plan Q, or whatever letter they're up to now. They might be able to come up with a workable one now because Admiral Nelson just figured out the reason for the thermal blast.
What if there are more of them out there, frozen in the ice as this one was? Needing the heat from a nuclear blast to bring them to life.
If you're right, what can we do?
Go back to the hut. Take the Snowcat and an M74 time bomb, set it to blast the entire area.
But won't that just wake them up anyway? No, because an explosion puts out concussive force and not that much heat. It's a safe bet that the ones up there are in those special ice-like blocks, so blowing those to bits will expose the creatures inside to the intense cold, and they'll die. But as with all good plans, there's a catch.
With an M74, we could be in trouble too.
I gather it's a big bomb. The plan is for Crane and Sharky to Snowcat over there, set the bomb, then Snowcat like mad back to the boat and get out of there.
2 men have left this craft. They go to the hut. In the interests of interplanetary accord, you must follow and destroy them.
But I can't leave the ship without being seen. I can't even get out of here.
We can teach and you can learn. Invisibility. It is an element which you will experience.
How do you mean?
Look at yourself.
Suddenly, he can't see himself. He's been green screened. I mean, the alien turned him invisible.
Get out. Get out now.
Yes. Yes, I'll go.
He could have opened the door the whole time. I didn't know the brig worked on the honor system. It's not hard for him to slip out the hatch. He doesn't even have a coat, but why should his infernal master care about that? The Admiral was right. Let's get that bomb set and explain to these things why riding that laser beam was a bad idea.
We'll need about a half an hour to get Seaview out of here. We'll get it a blow at 2:45. It's 2:15 now. Just the wind.
When they call the wind Mariah.
No, they call this wind Bergstrom.
Okay, come on, let's go.
No.
Who's there?
You've heard the expression, if these walls could talk. There you go. That was some pretty good miming, Mr. Becker. Crane hit him, so there should be a blood trail, but I guess it stays invisible even after it runs out of his body, so never mind.
That's not the wind. He's gone. Let's get out of here. Nice, sir.
Take the gun. Leave the cannoli. Wait.
It's deserted. There's heat. You can touch it. You can see it.
He gets on the horn and learns that everybody is in the missile room. In other words, as far away from that thing as they can get. All the hatches are inoperable, including the escape hatch, so they can't abandon ship. The temperature is over 150. They get to find out which gets them first, the bomb or the heat. Crane says kaboom time in 8 minutes.
We're all finished, you know.
Finished? What does that mean?
They've set a time bomb. It will blow at 2:45. Everybody dies, including those others like you out there.
So you failed to stop them.
It says you aren't useful anymore. He took a bullet for this thing, and that's gratitude. I think he's finally figured it out.
So I must die. Burn like the others, is that it?
You can almost see the light dawning over his head, can't you?
Well, you can die too. There must be a way. What is it?
Whatever fire uses for a nerve, I think he just hit one.
I speak to the commanders. The Admiral, the Captain. Send out men now. Deactivate that bomb. Deactivate that bomb.
And if we don't?
If you don't, this craft will boil and burst within minutes.
Within how many minutes? More or less than the bomb timer has left. There's only one way to find out, the worst one. Wait. 6 minutes until bomb time. Unknown minutes until boil and burst. Solve for X.
Admiral, this is Bergstrom.
Bergstrom.
Listen. Listen.
Yes, Bergstrom.
The thing can die. Cold will kill it. Is there freezing equipment on board?
Liquid oxygen.
They could have it on board for several reasons: keeping proper oxygen levels and the environmental controls, propellant for the missiles. They need something really cold to kill a fire monster. There's nothing strange about it being there.
Admiral, listen to me. I can't.
Nelson and Crane are in fireproof suits and have the O2 cylinders ready.
Die. Die. Gold. Gold. So gold.
It's dead. They pull off an emergency crash dive. The bomb explodes. We get some reused footage from the movie with the Seaview getting battered around by big chunks of ice. And that's that. The way they operated that flame was interesting. Everything else was your basic first contact gone awry story. Bergstrom should have had some protocols in place, or else bump things upstairs to people who had some. Suppose they are friendly, but they don't know they carry a disease that wipes out all life on Earth. First contact has to be respectful but cautious. Remember the little alien boy that Will Robinson sneezed on and nearly killed him? Bergstrom threw all that to the wind and it killed him. When Europeans made first contact with the Americans, they unknowingly brought several plagues with them. I won't go into what they did after that, but you get my point. Try to make friendly contact, but don't be like Bergstrom. You don't want your last words to be the same as his, which were,
Oh, I'm a dum-dum.
all I gotta do is breathe underwater. Breathe underwater.
Breathe underwater.
They might be able to come up 6 minutes to yeah, no, let's set it up. Yeah, okay. Now do the right words.